And I think that that's not necessarily true. I think all human beings are complex. And that it takes a, you know, I think what's important is to be authentic. And people are not authentic anymore. You know, they always have a facade. And if they would be more authentic in when they first meet someone and tell them what their issues are, or, I mean, not right away just bleed your heart out, but I mean just communicate and then be authentic of who you are. And I think that's very important, and that people right now are not as authentic as they should be. In regards to dating outside your race, I'm not going to jump into the internet dating because I've already addressed that. But I grew up here, I was born here, so I grew up in Scottsdale, Paradise Valley. I understand what the gentleman is saying conceptually, but I have a tendency to always look towards sisters, because since I grew up around a lot of Anglos, I didn't have the need to be around an Anglo to make myself feel better or different or whatever. So in that, I would always look for sisters, because I always felt that at the end of the day, whatever my issues were or problems that I had, I could come back and talk to someone who understood my issues and my pain or whatever it was in society, and that she would understand. I didn't have to educate her about my pain. She would understand my pain and my issues that I might have gone through, and she would be able to comfort me better than someone who might have been from another race. Now, that's not necessarily true in all cases, but I'm just saying from my experience, this is what I felt would be the best. Also, the shape of a body of a woman who's African American was more figureful. And
you can say it, you can say it. You got all kind of stuff through it.
And I had a tendency to appreciate that, because I didn't have that growing up in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley, and so I appreciated the full figure of a woman that was African American. So, but I had no problem. I have dated outside the race, and if you can connect with that person spiritually, physically, emotionally, I think that's very important, and that's the most important thing of it all. But for me, I just felt that at the end of the day, after all the trials and tribulations I might have gone through, that person would be more understanding, and I would be able to lay my head in her lap and fall asleep and go.
Any point of dating whoever you want to date, and I think that we need to leave our options open and quit automatically trying to look at the package. Oh no, he's wearing glasses, he doesn't have hair, he doesn't this.
Wait a minute, I was like, my man just walked in.
Be open to learn who the person is that you're conversating with. You know, be open to learn. Don't make a judgment in a packet before you figure out what's going on here and here. These are the two important things. I'm not saying you got to be attracted on some level, of course. But be open-minded. Now, if the conversation automatically starts going the wrong way quickly, then you know. But if it's not, be open-minded. Don't automatically judge someone before you've got a chance to know what's going on here. I like men that are intelligent. I like men that I can learn from. Everybody is different, you know. So I've been out with women, and right away, I hope he's not coming over here. Oh, I don't have time for this shit.
Oh, that wouldn't be the same with women that said they couldn't find that there was hard.
Okay, I'm just saying. Oh, girl, look at them socks. Ain't no way I can deal with him.
You better buy him.
If that's the package you're looking for, you're gonna always have problems.
Right.
But what I want to know is what's going on here. And what kind of things you have going on here. Those are the things, the characteristics that are most important to me. Because if all of this looks real good, and this shit is messed up, and that is really excellent, it won't work for me. So, when I talk about compromise, I'm talking about it on every level. Don't make a judgment of the book before you've read it. Be open-minded and get a chance to know that person, and let that person know who you are. Let that person know who you are and what your issues are. And then you give each other a chance. But before a person approaches you, I constantly say this because I have a girlfriend that is single and she's been single. No one is wanting to marry your ass right away. Just like you're not wanting to marry anybody right away. So if a person asks you, hey, can we dance? Oh no, look what he's doing. Come on now, open up some. Yeah. He's talking about a simple dance.
Right.
He ain't talking about taking you home. Right. He's not talking about you meeting his mother. He's just talking about a simple dance. And if you look at things for what they are, you'll be able to find somebody. I don't really think you have to look. You have to be good with who you are. You have to be happy with yourself. And when he pops up the table and he says, bam, you need to be saying, okay, I got that. Okay? So, just like you're looking for something, he is also looking for something in the partner that he chooses to be with. Take the time before you jump into the sack to find out who he is. Ask him the questions. I have so many, well, I didn't really want to ask him. Well, how the hell are you going to know if you don't ask? He's asking you all kind of stuff. Come up with your questions and be interesting. Have something to talk about. You know, if I'm dealing with a man and he don't have anything that's of interest to me, then I know it's not going to work.
Do you
I think on both sides we look for
Do you let him know right away? I'm sorry, I mean...
There is nothing really to let him know. Okay. You're just saying who you are and you're trying to find out who he is. Okay. I'm not trying to make a judgment or anything. I don't have to let you know my baggage is big. Okay? I got 5 kids. I ain't worked in 2 years. I mean, come on, nobody wants to hear all of that shit. What do you have that's positive going on? You know? I don't want to hear about it.
Do you slide that in some kind of way at some point in time?
I don't think you have to slide anything.
Kids in after
you don't have to slide anything. Be your authentic self.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Be yourself. You're not looking for it. Let me let them know I got 8 kids. No. Maybe you don't want to put it all out there right away. There's 8 of us.
Some people might say I want to know.
I mean, it's okay. I'm not, hey, if that's how you want to do it. Right. But if you think about if what you're doing is not working for you, you might want to change it up. That's all I'm saying. Think about, do I need to change it up? Because a lot of the things that we are looking for as women in a relationship, men are looking for the same thing. And you get women saying, well, he never did call me back. And I didn't text him 8 times. For what? I mean, if I ain't calling you back, you don't need to text me no 8 times. I think it just speaks for itself. In the same way.
Right.
Nobody wants to be dealing with a bugaboo. Don't overdo it. You know, and if you call me, have something to say. Just like if I call you, I have something to say, not, oh, what are you doing? Right. Okay. I'm talking to you.
He said he got something to say to you.
I date outside my race. I would date outside my race. I prefer black women, but I would date outside my race. I don't have a problem with other races. However, in opposition to what she was saying, I hear women all the time talking about, oh, I don't want to date him, he's short. I don't want to date him, he's this and that. Well, he's taking away the person's choice. So yeah, it's okay for people to have a preference, but I think you should make sure you have your choice. Hey, if I don't like you, I'm not going to talk to you. But if I do think you're attractive, I'll try to make eye contact. And if we make eye contact, maybe I'll say something. Other than that, nope. But the choice still has to be there, because I was married for 15 years and I will not settle for Jack. Yes, I will have my choice. I have a choice. I'm very happy. So you have to have that. You just have to make sure you have that going for you. No doubt. No doubt.
I agree with you. You have to have a choice. I mean, I believe that you should have a choice. If you want to date somebody that's only 6 feet or only 5 feet or whatever, you can have choices. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think sometimes when people put certain type of stipulations on what they want to do, but we all have our must-haves, or not necessarily must-haves, but things that we want. So I kind of agree with you, choices. You gotta have something.
You have to. I have talked to plenty of women that I was not attracted to, and I wouldn't date them. I wasn't mean to them. I had good conversation with them. I saw what they're about in their heart and their head. And that's as far as it went. We may be friends, we may not be friends, we may not even see each other again. Other than that, I'm not going to be rude. Even if she asks me to dance, okay, well, you might dance, but other than that, I'm not going to, you know, I still have a choice, and I'm going to find what I like, and that's what I'm doing.
And outside my race, yes, I've done it before, but today where I am, no, I'm not doing it, and it's just my little opinion. Now, there are going to be black men, black men and black women that are going to go out there and date outside. That's cool. But me, I study history a lot, and looking at the social standing of black people in this country and worldwide, I mean, we're on a decline. It's like this blind eye. We don't even see it. So I don't see nothing wrong with me wanting a sister and incubating more powerful black people into this world. So that's just my opinion. But the problem I have is I get a lot of flack because of that, because people think that how much we're willing to get out there and blend with other people, that's indicative to how progressive we are. They think that's progress if I want to go out there and mix with other races, you know, as far as dating and everything, and that's not the case. So, and they think you're narrow-minded if you're just, you know, this is a brown black pride thing. So, that's just my opinion.
In society, it's not being addressed. When you go to the grocery store, 90% of what you see is black men with white women. And we say, okay, if that's his preference, that's his preference. But we're not addressing as to why black men are preferring white women right now. I have an almost 16-year-old daughter who goes to school with black boys who specifically won't date her because she's black. They want white girls, and I don't have an answer for her as to why. And that's what I think part of the conversation needs to be is, where is our society going? I mean, I understand that we're raising black boys, but what are we raising them to see and believe and know and trust in? And it's like, I understand that it's happening more in Phoenix. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I was telling Grandison, I didn't grow up like that. I didn't have a problem worrying that I was going to marry a black man. But my daughter is growing up worrying she might have to marry outside of her race because black men just aren't, black boys are not finding her appealing or attractive just because she's part of their culture. And so that's the question I came here to find out. What are black people really thinking?
What I wanted to ask, and it's rhetorical, of course, is for a lot of women who have sons in this conversation, how many of you would actually date the type of son that you raised? And I think that really, and that's great that you produce the son that you would, but I think that really ties in the current with the past, because men don't grow on trees, they're raised. And so we have to ask ourselves, what quality of man are we producing, you know? And if really is this just that simple?
And I totally agree. However, just like trees, they need nourishment. They need some trees need what do you call that? Soil. What do you call fertilizer? And there are different types of fertilizers. And men are very responsible, just as women are responsible for making these men the kind of men that we want to marry and or date. So yeah, I totally agree with you too.
I think there's a fallacy that's circulating in popular culture where it takes a black man to raise a black man. But black women have been raising black men for generations, strong black men. So if the circumstance does not provide you a black man, then that really cannot be an excuse more or less, because we still have to produce black men that are capable of supporting black women, black families, black communities. So I agree with you completely. I don't think that my question was not a matter of accountability. It really was to invoke reflection, you know, because again, black men don't grow on trees, and we're producing these men as we are producing these daughters. And so I think to bring it home, we have to ask ourselves, what are we producing out of our own homes?
Yes.
Good conversation.
I was raised a single parent female. So Well, here with being in Phoenix, I've been here 4 years, and one of the problems, or one of the issues I see, I ain't gonna say it's a problem, is that the networking in terms of having cultural events here is slow. I'm from Baltimore, spent a long time in the Oakland, San Francisco area, so cultural events here are slow. You don't have enough pipeline to get enough events out that, one, involve our children, two, involve us as black men and black women to talk about cultural things, history, or just about social things, well, that's dating or whatever it is. And I think that's one of the challenges, or one of the things that we can start to build on, whether here or in coming events, and starting to build on how we start bringing us together. I understand this, you know, in terms of area being, we spread out, but still, you know, we can find 2 or 3 central places that we have something going on monthly that may include our children, especially our sons. And in terms of, you know, quality of black men, I'm not with that conversation because one being a mentor, one being a black man, one being a black man growing up in urban Baltimore, you know, it takes time sometimes, and it also takes not wanting to be and not needing to be judged based on misconception that we see on TV, or that we create in our own mind of what a man should be or should not be, when you don't know what he, just as we don't know what she has been through. Because, you know, in terms of our young girls, you know, we can also say there's a lack of quality in them in terms of how some of them are showing up, just as it is some young men. And, you know, so it's a bigger issue, but it's not something that we can't solve. It hasn't been overcome because we come a long way as black people when we weren't even allowed to be together, or we watched our women being forced to sleep with someone outside our race, and they watched us being forced to sleep outside our race, and that has had its own residual effect, and most of us kind of know that connection. So the thing is, we still found a way. And out here in Phoenix, this is about common courtesy. I mean, I've been out here, and I've been in relationship, but the thing is, I look at sisters walk past me and won't even lift their head. I ain't used to that, I'll be honest with you. And so, you know, whatever that's about, you know, y'all gotta discuss that. Because I'm speaking to you because you're black, because I got a mother and a sister and 2 granddaughters. I'm speaking to you because you're black. But if you think I want something from you, and so you don't lift your head up to that, then then once again, this is about how we look at ourselves in terms of community, and how we look at ourselves just as simply as brothers and sisters, based on it, you know, where we come from.
If I'm too short, if I'm maybe not their right shade, whatever it is, they say they just want to speak to you. They just want to say, hey, what's up? And you guys will not even acknowledge them. So we have to do a better job of that. I'm putting the onus on all of us. We have to do a better job of that. We can't be like, oh, well, he's not going to speak to me because he only wants to speak to a different type of woman. Be open. Be open to that, because my brothers are telling me that they want to connect with you.
For some reason, black women just will not look, most of them, I wouldn't say all of them, okay? So let me take it there, because I know everybody's going to try to jump on me, and, you know, I know Kung Fu, so. But no, really, the majority of black women, honestly, if I walk past 10 black women, maybe 2 of them will say hi, or look me in the eye and make contact. So my question is, why is that? I'm not trying to tell you, I'm not trying to get your hands, I'm not, you know, somebody can answer.
I'm from Mississippi, and we speak to everybody. Okay. We speak to everybody. White, black, Puerto Rican, Haitian. We don't care if you pass that sidewalk. We're going to say good morning. We're going to hold the door for you, man, female, woman with child. It does not matter. It's a matter of respect. When I moved here to Phoenix, I'm still Southern, so I'm like, morning, how y'all doing? Yeah. And they were like, they hit you with the stank face. And so I'm just like, well, I'm speaking. That's the least I could do is smile. That's the best thing a woman could ever do, is just to smile, right? So I'm like, well, I'm smiling. And I said good morning, and I held the door for you because you're fumbling with your bags. I can't get a thank you, or hello, or a good morning in return. So it's happening to both of us. It's happening to both of us.
that's what's happening.
It is. But why is that?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know why that. I think it's conditioning. A conditioning happens. A conditioning does happen. You're here for a while, and then you're just like, well, crap. I don't want to be the odd one out. You know, I can't. People with Southern people with, you know, they don't have Southern plaques across their face. So I don't know other Southern people to speak to because I know they'd be like, oh, hey, good morning. Like they wouldn't mind. You know, so you do become conditioned to just going about your duties of getting your groceries, going to your car, and that's it. Whereas, you know, back at home, if you were fumbling with a grocery bag, that ketchup bottle would never hit the floor. Because somebody's going to be like sliding in for home plate. I got you, girl. How you doing this morning? Something. So you do go through conditioning, and you assimilate a little bit to being in Phoenix, because that is the norm here. People don't speak here. I don't think it's a black man to a black woman type thing. It's just people don't speak here generally. You may get some of the elder generation that speaks. Other than that, normally, I don't think people just speak like that.
Some black women, and I'm going to say I am not one of them, because I will speak to you, shake your hand. 9 times out of 10, I'm giving you money. Because, no, seriously, I work downtown. I run into a lot of transits. I had a man today in a wheelchair. He was like, ma'am, can you help me out? I gave him 20 bucks. That's all I could do, but it's like, hey, here you go. The man had a family, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, back to black women not acknowledging black men. I think a lot of black women that have been here for a long time have become accustomed to that black man not speaking to her and not acknowledging her. So they get into, and I'm not telling you this is right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. I'm just telling you what I've seen and what I've experienced. I see that the black man, he will walk right past you and not say anything. But then he also will turn around and say, well, but the black woman doesn't speak to me. Whoa, whoa, wait a minute, baby. This goes both ways. It's a two-way street. I'm from the Midwest, and like you, if you are struggling to change a tire, if you're struggling to get your groceries out of the car, most men are there, they're on top of it, and they're ready to help you. And it doesn't really matter what the color of your skin is. The point is this is a female that needs some help. And that man says, you know what? I am going to be a gentleman. And that comes back to me having 2 sons. I have 2 sons. I told them when you were born, you're a boy. As you grow older, hopefully, you become a young man. But when you get older than that, you are a man in the sense. But to become a gentleman is a choice. To become a lady is a choice. That's not something that's just there and it happens. You were either raised that way, or you make the choice yourself to embrace that behavior and to conduct yourself that way as a woman or as a lady or as a gentleman. And it's very important. I think black women have just gotten to the point where it's like, you know what? He's not speaking to me, I'm not speaking to him. Here we go. Well, after a lot of that happening, it filters and it just flows through to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, and before you know it, you have Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And as far as interracial dating is concerned, I think you presented the options. You do have your preferences, and in Phoenix, you just get outweighed by your options. And it's good to stretch a little bit, get outside of your comfort zone, and roll with those options sometimes. Furthermore, nobody said you have to find your mate in Phoenix. I think I said that on your taping. Yeah. Nobody said you had to find your mate here in Phoenix. If you have some Southwest frequent flyer miles, go where you're in season. Okay? You don't have to find them here. It's okay. Get outside of your comfort zone, get outside of your box. Go hiking, go skating, go do something different. You might find him there. Go deep sea diving. You never know. You might find him there. It may be a black person or a person of a different race that actually connects with you on a different level, although they don't look like you. It's okay.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you, Evan.
My name is Ken Spell, and sort of coming a little late. I had a business appointment, but sort of hearing with the conversation.
Oh, you don't have the respect flag? Is that what your fan?
You need a fan.
I need a fan.
You should be talking right now. Oh, you got one?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you all for allowing me to speak. And I'm going to piggyback off on what the young lady said. You know, give you a little history about me real quick, 30 seconds. Okay. I spent I'm a retired Marine. And, you know, I've been around different cultures. I lived in Japan for 8 years. I lived in the Philippines. I lived in Korea. I traveled Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia. I dated black women. I've dated white women. I've dated Koreans. I dated Chinese. And I've dated Japanese. And see, when I'm out and about, because of what I do, I am a professional networker. I work from home for the last 4.5 years. I build residual income in network marketing. And I walk around with a lot of business associates who just happen to be white women, because for some reason, white women are white guys, or the Caucasian. For some reason, in our community, and there's very prominent pillars in Arizona, the black community don't look at network marketing. Okay, for some reason, because they don't think it's a viable opportunity in business. But if you look at some of the top people, they look at it, top networkers, they look at it as a viable business. So I walk around with Caucasian people, a lot of Caucasian women, because I put a lot of women, I don't care whether they're black or white, on my team, because women do better in network marketing than what men do. So I'm smart enough to go after the women. But when I walk past black women, they look at me and they say, wow, why is the brother, exactly, I mean, I had somebody tell me this, why is the brother with a white beat? I'm like, wow. I say, maybe because the brother don't want a woman like you, got an attitude like that. And I'm not knocking on sisters, because it's like all the brothers, you know, we're talking about a percentage here. And I embrace my sisters, because, you know what, I have 3 sisters, I have 4 daughters, okay? And I can give you an example. I've been married twice, okay? Thank God I've been single for 14 years, but I've been married twice. I was married to a white woman. First I was married to a black woman, then I was married to a white woman. Unfortunately, neither one of them worked out, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, okay? But the thing about it is this right here. When you look, when I'm going down the street and I see a sister, I want to acknowledge. When I see a brother, I want to acknowledge, because we need to collaborate. And that's something that I notice that we don't do. When we try to talk to one another in business.
Why do you think that is? Let me know. Why do you think that is?
Well, because we all.
You mentioned it twice that we don't. Why do you think?
Okay, which part are you saying we don't? Business or?
Why don't you say as we walk down the street we don't acknowledge each other? In your opinion, why do you think that is?
Fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown, why we don't, because for the simple fact is, people are always down on what they're not up on. It takes education. And then if we out here working together, trying to collaborate, because, you know, I don't care where you're from, I'm from North Carolina, okay, like I said, I done lived in Southwest Asia, Southeast Asia, okay, but here's the thing right here, I mean, if we can look at it, I see some of the people, like, you know, I know a few, I know faces in here, okay, but I don't really personally know anybody in here, okay, but the thing about it, if we learn how to collaborate, like the young lady just walked in right here, I met her at Tanner one time about a year ago when she was speaking, but that's what I'm saying, I met her before. She might not know me, but I know the face. But here's the thing, we need to learn to collaborate instead of worrying about, hey, is this person, is this brother, this sister going to get over on me, instead of worrying about whether we're going to get over. We need to learn to say, hey, how can we collaborate together that's mutually benefit for all parties? Okay, I'm talking to a gentleman right now in Tucson. I'm talking to one of the brothers that own the Informer. We're trying to collaborate to try to get the black community to see what we see, because there's money in the black community, but we're not keeping our money in the black community, because any other races out here smart enough to get our money to spend for what they wanted to do. And then when we see somebody, you know, if I'm walking with a Caucasian woman that's trying to teach me, give me business knowledge, and you're looking at me hating on me, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the knowledge so I can make a difference. Okay, it's just like anybody know, and I'm getting ready to give up the mic, but you know, young brother, he's the, his name is CT, okay? He's one of the He's one of the he's the son to one of the guys that owns the Informant. I was just on his Facebook page. I'm trying to elevate this young brother so he can become a superstar and make residual income. But we just need to learn to work together. And I don't care whether I'm working with a sister or who. I want to help embrace the opportunity.
All right, thank you.
So I just wanted to quickly say about this thing about men and women, black women and women meeting each other, greeting each other, communicating with each other. I think one of the problems is this the myth that gets perpetuated when people, most of the people, a lot of people that are here in Arizona are from somewhere else. So when we come here and we start talking about, hey, black women don't do this and black men don't do this, and you know, here, now that you're here in Arizona, think about it, about where that person is from. That person is bringing that from somewhere else. So it's not here. Stop blaming Arizona for you not willing to change, be the change that you want to see, versus blaming on the fact that now you here in Arizona and ain't no brothers talking to me, ain't no sisters talking to me. You be that role model, be that what you want to see, and it'll start happening. That's all I gotta say.
I met my man in Arizona.
The first thing out of people's mouth is where they from. So if you was in Chicago and you talk to everybody, if you was in Mississippi and you talk to everybody, if you was in Baltimore and you talk to everybody, how did it stop all of a sudden when you came to Phoenix? You know, so I think what happens is you become, and nothing against people who are from Phoenix. I got a lot of friends from Phoenix, but you become a Phoenician and you try to blame it on Arizona that's why you don't talk to anybody. And it, like Ebony said, it just came down to conditioning. You get mad because then somebody talked to you, so you're going to take it out on the next person, not talk to them. But if in Chicago you talk to everybody, then be from Chicago. I'm going to claim Chicago every single day. Even when I lived in Phoenix for 20 years, I'm going to claim I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And if that's what I used to do when I was back home, I'm going to stick to my roots. And I'm going to talk to everybody that walked past me. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your gender. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is people, how you think, what's in your heart. And so, yeah, exactly. So you just need to stick to your roots and don't get conditioned. Because we can make Phoenix whatever we want it to be. And the truth of the matter is, Phoenix is a melting pot. It's composed. That's the beautiful thing about Phoenix. That it's built of people from every different part of the United States. So I think if we really want to make it this melting pot and make it great, you stick to your roots and you talk to everybody. You shouldn't, we always talk about, and we say it's a problem when people become a product of their environment. We talk about black men and young youth become a product of their environment. They get incarcerated and go to jail. You can't be a product of your environment and come to Phoenix and try to blame it on where you live. You ain't left. You still live here. So it's not a bad place to be.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think we need to stop blaming our geographic location and start taking ownership and blaming it on ourselves and just change.
All right. All right. Thank you.
So I challenge black sisters to figure out what is it that you need to do different, because if something's not working for you, then obviously you need to change. And that's what I would like to challenge everybody, is figure out what is it that I'm doing when I go out and I see people and I'm not getting the results that I came here to get. And one of the things that I tell my daughter all the time is be open, be presentable, be accepting, be approachable. And that's what he's, as a black male, is teaching my black daughter. That's what you need to do. You need to be approachable. And so how many of us can honestly say that when we're sitting at the club in a group of black women, we are approachable?
I think a takeaway from just this piece of the conversation is that once, I think somebody over here said that, we need to be the change that we really want to see. So I challenge all of us, like Lisa said, when you get up to go to the bathroom, walk around, leave here today, tonight, make eye contact with somebody and just say hello. That's all I'm asking. Just do that today. That's going to be the beginning of something wonderful, okay?